Good evening, everyone. In this chapter, we will discuss the recruiting, selecting, training, and developing employees. This is the objective of this lecture, learning outcomes. Describe the recruiting process, including internal and external recruiting. Discuss the steps in the selection process and the basic selection criteria used by most organizations. Identify and discuss popular selection techniques that organizations use to hire new employees. Discuss how organizations train and develop new employees to better enable them to perform effectively. The outline: recruiting processes, selection processes, training and development. Recruiting processes: company recruits employees depending on the needs. Example: if the company is expanding, company must recruit more employees in order to avoid putting overload work to old employees. Or if there is a position vacancy, then there is a need recruit to fill post. Most companies during the time of the pandemic has already freezed recruiting. Instead, some lay off their staff because the loss they are incurred. Some, however, take advantage of the crisis in hiring. Basically, there are two types of recruiting methods. Number one, internal recruiting, process of looking inside or organization for existing qualified employee who might be promoted to higher level position. External recruiting, process of looking a source outside the organization for prospective employee. This include word of mouth recruiting, referrals from outside source. Number two, advertisement posting job vacancy newspaper via media broadcast. Number three, employment agency, recruiting qualified employee from an agency. Number four, college placement office, company partnered with university or schools to recruiting a qualified employee. Number five, digital recruiting, posting job vacancy via online. Advantage and disadvantage of the internal and external recruiting. Internal recruiting increase the motivation. Promotion gives motivation to employee. Sustain knowledge and culture. Recruiting employees are already familiar with the working environment. This is the advantage of internal recruiting. May foster stagnation. Employees become stuck in company that can cause burnout without a good compensation benefit. May cause ripple effect. Those employees who feel as if they observe a promotion that was awarded to someone else may show a drop in productivity. Advantage of the external recruiting: bring in new ideas. New hires can share his or her knowledge based on his or her experience that may help the company grow. Avoid the ripple effect. There will be a low percentage of insecurity from employers. Disadvantage of the external recruiting: may hurt motivation. Old staff may feel they don't get promoted. Cost more. New hires, depending on the experience they gained, expect higher salary. Selection process. After recruitment, when the HR department receives applicants, they begin screening and selecting best suitable candidate for a position. The basic selection criteria. The basic selection criteria: education and experience, the skill and abilities, the personal characteristic, and hiring for fit. To select a best candidate, here are the basic criteria that the company look for when considering an applicant. When selecting an ID staff, you don't hire those that doesn't fit with the education background and experience. Basically, we don't hire an accountant for an architect job. During the interview, you can always detect a rude person is always the best recruit in optimistic person. Hire people that are physically and mentally fit for the job. Here are some selection process technical used by companies. Preliminary screening. Employer screen applicants according to the desired criteria. Telephone interview used as a first round interview. This is know if the applicant is still interested. Used as a first round interview. This is the know as the if the applicant is still interested with the position. In-person interviews. This is the most crucial phrase because the result of this can identify if the applicant will be hired or not. But because of the pandemic, however, personnel interviewed are done via Zoom meeting or other video conference app. Employer test. This is a test of the applicant knowledge, other selection technical reference or recommendations. Hiring can be done due to the recommendation of others. Assessment centers. Some companies pass the burden of recruitment to an outsource. This is a sample selection process. There could be different selection process depending on the company's policies. Application, screening and pre-selections, interviewed, assessment, reference and background checks, decision and job offer. Training and development. Training and development are often times misconceived to be the same, but there is actually a small but most important difference between the two. Training involves programs which enable employers to learn practice skills or knowledge to improve performance. Development program involve a more expansive employer growth plan for future performance rather than immediately career road improvement. Training and development. Four major series of training and development: theory of reinforcement, theory of learning type, theory of experiential learning, theory of social learning. The training and the development in the workplace improve employer performance, improve employer satisfaction and morale, addressing weakness, consistency, increase productivity and adherence to quality standard, increase innovation in new strategy and products, reduce employer turnover, enhance company reputation, and profit. Model of training employers. System model training. The system model consists of 5 phases. It should be repeated on a regular basis to make further improvement. The training should achieve the purpose of help the employer to perform their work to require standards. Transitional model. Transitional model focuses on the organization as a whole. The outer loop describes the vision, mission, and the value of the organization on the basis of which training model in the loops is executive. Instructional system development methods: analysis, planning, development, execution, evaluations. The most effective training method is case study, game-based training, internship, job rotation, job shadowing, lecture, modeling, and apprenticeship, program instruction, role modeling, role play, simulation, stimulus-based training, team training, and that's all. Thank you for listening.